When it comes to jazz, there are many influential people. Today we are going to be talking about a very well-known name to the jazz industry. And who may that be? Billie Holiday. Chapter 1. Who is Billie Holiday? If you've never heard of Billie Holiday, shame on you. I'm kidding. That's why I'm here to help you understand who this exactly is. According to your basic Google definition, Billie Holiday was an American jazz and swing music singer with a career spanning 26 years. That's a real long time.
It treats me awful mean. He's the lowest man that I've ever seen.
Chapter 2. The Tragic Childhood of Billie. When I say tragic, I don't mean, kids thought Billie was weird. They didn't like her. No, I mean tragic. So prepare to hear what I'm about to say. Billie Holiday, aka Eleanor Harris, was born April 7, 1915 in Philadelphia. To her mother, Sadie Fagan, and her father, Clarence Holiday, who was also a musician. Both of them were teens. Her mother was 13 and her father was 15. Even though Billie was born in Philadelphia, she spent much of her childhood in jazz-soaked Baltimore. Recently, I've been researching more about Billie, just to get an understanding on her childhood, which isn't talked about frequently. But let me tell you, it wasn't very pretty. In fact, not at all. She lived in poverty. Her mother worked a lot, so she stayed with other relatives. She was also beat by one of the relatives after being accused of wetting a bed. Sometimes she slept on the floor to prove her point, but she got beat for being smart. Nope, that's not all. She also dropped out of school in only the 5th grade, going to a Catholic reform school for about 11 months, right after being abducted and assaulted by a 40-year-old neighbor. And even though Billie was always surrounded by jazz music, Catholic school is where she truly found her voice, despite the unfair treatment. Chapter 3. Billie Holiday's Got Talent. Later on, but still in her early life, she followed her mother, who had moved to New York City in the late 1920s, and worked in a house of prostitution in Harlem for a time. Though it has been said that she was a victim of sex trafficking and was arrested for prostitution charges. In the 1930s, by her early teens, she had already started singing in front of people, taking a Billie part of her stage name from actress Billie Dove, A Star She Loved, and Holiday from her absent father. By the grand old age of 18, the record company scouts and spies had been fighting over her for several months, and she finally got behind a recording microphone in November 1933, making her first recording with Benny Goodman and others. In 1935, musical genius John Hammond had signed her to Brunswick Records, where she did versions of current material and the new swing style. Every song she did was destined to be blasted out of jukeboxes everywhere. Billie probably wrote about 10 original songs herself, but the versions of other songs she sang was almost as if she'd written it. Billie Holiday sang with strong emotions and felt every word, such as famous songs like Strange Fruit, God Bless the Child, Blue Moon, or The Very Thought of You. Chapter 4. Facing Challenges. In life, there will always be challenges you face, and some face more than others. To be a famous singer. You probably think Billie was living a dream, huh? Wrong. Billie Holiday was out around the time of racism and discrimination badly. Like while touring, she was forced to use service elevators so she wouldn't upset white people. She was also prohibited from eating with the rest of her band. Also, she had to wait in a dark room right before performing for the same white people she had to take the service elevators for. Also, she had a hard love life. Listen to this song. She was beaten, abused, yet she still loved her man.
He is no hero out of both. 2 or 3 girls has he that he likes as well as me, but I love him. I don't know why I should. He isn't true. He beats me too. What can I do? Oh, my man, I love him so. He'll never know.
Chapter 5. The Fruit That Was Strange. As I said before, Strange Fruit is indeed one of Billie Holiday's most famous songs. It was recorded by Billie Holiday in 1939, and the poem and the lyrics were published in 1937. The poem is about the lynchings of African Americans, if you didn't know, and I'm going to read off a few lines now. Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees.
Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze, strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South, the bulging eyes and the twisted mouth, scent of magnolia, sweet and fresh. Then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck, for the rain to gather, for the wind to suck, for the sun.
Chapter 6. Habitual Use and Death. Billie did have a history with the use of heroin, but it only begun to be brought up when Billie continued to speak out on racial issues and racial discrimination. The feds used her heroin use as a way to silence her. Maybe that's why some people believe that the government killed her. After failed relationships and other situations, Billie Holiday began to use drugs again and also drank heavily. And in 1959, she was admitted to the hospital with cirrhosis of the liver. Sitting on her deathbed, the government still messed with Billie, and she was arrested for possession of drug use for the second time, except this time she was handcuffed to her gurney while placed under police guard. There she died at the age of only 44. So young, so talented, yet so brutally treated. Although all of this tragedy happened to Billie, her story shall continue to be shared. She has a legacy and has brought light to speaking out even when others try to silence you. In 1961, she made the Downbeat Hall of Fame. She has garnered more than 20 Grammy wins / nominations, and in 2000, Billie was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I wish Billie could have left in peace, but she's resting in peace and has left her gifts with us. Thank you for listening.